This is the homepage for the cloud instance of PombeMine, an integrated database for fission yeast genomics. So on the homepage there's a basic search box where you can search on genes or ontology terms, authors, etc. But most people will want to use PombeMine to do more complicated queries. So from here, users can upload their own gene lists, for example, the results of an experiment. Those will appear under lists here. Then here's the query builder where you build queries, but unless you know SQL, this is quite complicated. So we provide a list of query templates here. So currently we have about 25 public templates and they're all sorted by category. I'm going to do a disease query. So I'm going to select the query disease to genes, and this will retrieve genes where the human ortholog is causative in a particular disease. The default is configured to Cornelia de Lange syndrome, which we have 8 rows, but I'm going to change it to DNA repair disease. This has 74 rows, so we can go here to view the results in a table. And we can see here, if we click on the graph icon at the top of any column, that will show us the number of entities in that column. So we have 74 rows, but we only have 38 gene symbols because some of them are annotated to multiple diseases. And over here, we have 2 enrichment tools, a gene ontology enrichment and a phenotype enrichment. Satisfyingly, both of these show DNA repair as a highly enriched go term here. 35 out of the 38 are annotated to DNA repair, and quite a lot of the phenotypes are related to abnormal DNA repair or sensitivities to DNA damaging agents. So back to the results table, we can also use the graph icon at the top of the table to filter on, for instance, the Mondo terms are the disease ontology term names. I can filter on Fanconi anemia here, which reduces the number of rows in the table to 9, and this corresponds to 9 independent genes. And we can save these genes as a list, so I can save the 9 genes. I've saved this list earlier, so I'll cancel that. And then what we can do, we can import any lists we saved into different query templates. So I'm now going to do a phenotype query. I'm going to take this gene list and retrieve all of the alleles and phenotypes associated with the genes in the list. So this, you can use a list of comma-separated genes here. So we've got a couple in this example, retrieving 235 rows, but I'm going to look up the genes in choose the list, Fanconi anemia, the 9 genes, and run the query. This gives 402 rows in the table. Again, we can see the Go enrichment. This is a little bit more specific. It's double strand break repair. 8 of the 9 genes are annotated to this term. And more specific phenotypes, abnormal mitotic recombination is very strongly enriched here. We can, the useful filters here might be, for example, if you wanted to filter so that you saw only the phenotypes that were associated with specific variants like nucleotide, amino acid or nonsense mutations. You might want to exclude deletion mutations if, for example, you were trying to look for alleles which are associated with human disease causing variants. You wouldn't necessarily, you'd get more information if you excluded the deletions. So I'm going to filter on that, will reduce the number of rows in my table from 402 to 62 rows. And you can see specific variants that you could later check out to see if they're associated with diseases. And the other features that are available for any of your query results lists, there are quite a few tools, for example, chromosomes distribution, and there's a nice different view of the Go results. This shows you of the number of genes in your list that have a specific annotation, what percentage of the total that are annotated to that term. So obviously here a higher percentage is probably more informative. And this is double-strand break repair via synthesis dependent annealing, which you've got 23% of the genes that are annotated to that term. And at the bottom, this isn't configured yet, but there's also a genetic interaction network that will be appearing soon. So that's really just a quick demo.